Today, I've got a wild question for you. Can we survive 1 nanosecond on the surface of the sun? Just imagine standing there for a moment, okay? Let me be honest, no sunscreen is gonna save you. Not even the most advanced technology ever built on Earth. But hey, we're talking about just 1 nanosecond. That's a really short amount of time. 1 nanosecond is a billionth of a second. That's so short, light itself can only travel 1 nanometer in that time. A distance so tiny, it's basically nothing compared to a human hair. The sun's surface isn't exactly your average tanning spot, you know? The surface of the sun, called the photosphere, has an average temperature of about 5,500 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than any furnace, volcano, or even lightning bolt on Earth. Now, you might say, but hey, it's just 1 nanosecond. How bad could it be? Well, let me put it this way. 1 nanosecond is definitely enough time for heat to transfer, but only a tiny bit of it. As you probably know, there are three main ways heat travels: conduction, convection, and radiation. And when it comes to the sun, it's all about radiation, baby. Solar radiation is basically a non-stop photon bombardment. You know, those tiny particles that carry light energy? Yeah, each of them packs enough punch to evaporate you even in that 1 nanosecond. So let's see what actually happens during that nanosecond. First, the photon invasion. Every second, the sun emits about 3.8 times 10 to the 26 watts of energy. That's more than every nuclear bomb ever built by humans going off at the same time, every single second. Second, instant vaporization. To be honest, if you ever got close to the sun's surface, the radiation would instantly vaporize the outer layers of your body. Even in that single nanosecond, photons slam into you at unbelievable speeds, heating your body to thousands of degrees Celsius. And since the sun is made of plasma, basically a boiling soup of charged particles, there's absolutely no escape from the heat. You might still be thinking, but it's just a nanosecond. I wouldn't even have time to feel anything. And honestly, you're right. You wouldn't feel a thing. But that's not because everything's fine. It's because the heat and radiation would instantly destroy the very cells you need to feel. Yeah, my friend, imagine tossing an ice cube straight into a bonfire. Fire is hot, sure, but even an ice cube takes a few seconds to melt in it, right? Now imagine that fire isn't a few hundred degrees, but 5,500 degrees. And the ice cube is you. Even though it's just a tiny fraction of a second, the energy is so intense it could vaporize even the toughest materials, let alone a human body. Now, what if we had a shield? If you're thinking you could grab a solid metal armor or some super strong shield and survive, well, I admire your optimism. But nope. Even the strongest materials we have today, like tungsten or some advanced ceramics, can only handle a few thousand degrees Celsius before they start to melt away. Unfortunately, even the strongest materials on Earth wouldn't last a second on the sun. Unless, of course, you somehow had access to some kind of alien-level technology. If you wrapped yourself in a thick layer of tungsten, or, I don't know, something ridiculously heat-proof, you might survive for a tiny fraction of a second. Then the heat would cut right through your shield and vaporize you before you could even say ouch. And even if you were sitting inside a super advanced spaceship made from the best materials known to science, the radiation would still go right through you. Because sunlight isn't just visible light, it's a deadly cocktail of ultraviolet and X-rays that can pierce deep into matter itself. Dramatic and darkly funny. So the truth is, no shield can save you. Spending even 1 nanosecond on the sun would be like standing still in front of trillions of flamethrowers at once. You wouldn't just feel the heat, you'd be gone on an atomic level. The only reason you wouldn't feel any pain is because your nerves wouldn't even have time to send a signal to your brain. You simply wouldn't exist anymore. And remember, we're talking about teleporting to the sun, instantly popping in and out. If you tried to get close to it the normal way, you wouldn't even make it anywhere near the surface. You'd be toast long before you got there. Any spaceship would burn up long before it even reached the photosphere. Even NASA's Parker Solar Probe, the closest human-made object to ever approach the sun, can only get within about 4 million miles of its surface. And even at that distance, the heat is so extreme, it starts damaging every part of the poor spacecraft. So, is there anything that could actually survive it? Now, you might be wondering, is there anything in the entire universe that could survive a nanosecond on the sun? Well, the answer is probably not. The sun is so insanely powerful that almost nothing could last there, especially us humans, who start complaining when it hits 30 degrees outside. So yeah, maybe we should be grateful that we live right here, and the perfect Goldilocks zone for life. We're not too far to freeze, and not too close to get roasted. So let's just put on our sunscreen and keep facing the sun. From a safe distance, of course. And finally, I invite you to join our little crew. Hit that subscribe button and stay curious.